So the new craze with mobile phones is not 5G or the next best camera. For some reason, it's them folding. When I was 12, I had a flip phone, and when I was 15, I had a sliding phone. They were cool, but not very practical. And then when I was 16, I went and purchased my own iPhone. I was so happy to be done with flipping and sliding. Again, they were pretty cool back then, but they just weren't very practical. But now that really no longer matters. Now, a decade later, flip phones have came back in a folding fashion, and rumor has it, an expanding phone as well. So let's talk about each of the new folding phones. There's the Samsung Galaxy Fold, the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip, the Motorola Razr, the Royal Flex Pay, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not, and then the Huawei Mate X, which is only sold in China. And then there's also the TCL Prototype expandable phone. Before I start, I want to make a quick note. These are my opinions, and you may not agree. But whether you agree or not, I would like to have a conversation. So definitely comment down below and let's chat. So the Samsung Galaxy Fold was the first to get to the American consumers. Just like with almost all cell phones these days, it's way overpriced. $2,000 for this phone. No thank you. Even if it was $900, I wouldn't buy it. The main reason is not because it folds, but because of how weird it looks when it does fold. It seems too skinny width-wise, and too thick depth-wise. Plus the hinge still seems like it could be an issue. I know Samsung supposedly has a fix for it, but I'm still skeptical of them. I'm not a fan of the front-facing camera design either. When the phone is actually opened up, it takes a notch out of the screen, and don't quite like it. Although I will say that when it does open up, I love the size of the screen. It's great for multitasking, so anybody that wants to have a phone and a tablet in one, rather than having to carry two separate items there, this phone would be great for that. But on the downside, if you are an avid video watcher, it might be a little bit weird because you've got your video here, but then you have all the space above and below the video. The widescreen type of video that, it'd be a little weird, but either way, it's great for multitasking. The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip looks cheap. It's a $1,400 phone that looks like it came out of a child's play set. Not even sorry for saying that. But with that being said, I watched some durability tests from several people, and it held up surprisingly horrible. The hinge doesn't block out dust like I would expect a $1,000+ phone to do. And the exterior glass shatters from a 3-foot drop, so it's kind of worrisome if you're somebody like me who constantly drops their phone. Earlier today, I dropped my phone from about a 4.5-foot drop, so I would definitely break the Z Flip within a week. The supposed glass that's on the screen seems to be more of a hybrid between glass and plastic, and it's not as durable. It doesn't hold up very well to pressure or anything sharp. However, I have to applaud Samsung on the design of the edges around the screen. They have a slight bump around the top part of the flip and the bottom part of the flip. And when the phone opens up, that bump kind of comes out, so it protects it from any falls, or protects the screen fairly well from falls. So I do have to say that is probably the best part of the design of that phone. Back in the day when flip phones were all the rage, the king was the Motorola Razr. And after seeing the new one, I think it could be king again. I only saw one durability test, but this one held up pretty well actually. The outside got cracked a little bit, but the inside and the inside screen and then even the outside screen both remained fully functional, and so did the camera. One huge complaint though is that just like with the Galaxy Flip, it appears that the screens have a crease where they fold. I have not seen them in person, but through photos and videos, they both seem to have that issue, as well as a massive glare from sunlight. Overall, this phone, for the $1,500 price tag, is underpowered in pretty much every aspect, but it does offer 5G. And just like the original Razr, it underperforms, but the durability is there, and this nostalgia could make it king again. Now for the Royal Flex Pay, that's something I've never heard of until this video. So let me be honest, I know nothing about this phone. I did just a little bit of research, and it seems like its specs are up to par. Nothing stood out as awesome, but nothing would steer me away. For the most part, it looks like it has a good design. Still not a fan of the camera location, just like with the Galaxy Fold. And I didn't see any restrictions on where the phone's being sold, so I don't know if Americans can purchase this or not. I do know that it was pretty much sold out really quickly when it hit the world market. The Huawei Mate X is a $2,400 folding phone. Yes, you heard that correctly, $2,400. It's currently only sold in China and probably will stay that way. It folds the opposite direction as the Galaxy Fold, which I like because it shows the innovation and how two different companies can give us a similar idea but take it two different directions. Plus, it gives us more options and more talking points. And honestly, I think it's a better design because of the camera location. It doesn't take away from the huge screen when it's unfolded. However, when it is folded up, the screen is on the front and the back, so it could be subject to damage, especially if it's a plastic screen rather than the glass that a lot of smartphones like the Galaxy S10 and the iPhones have. So that could be a potential issue and a huge design flaw. Just like with the Fold, the specs are tremendous and it'll be a great phone. However, the hinge protection, just like with all the other folding phones, looks like it'll be the major issue for the phone in general. While it's not a folding phone, the TCL Prototype expandable phone seems pretty intriguing, and so I figured I'd go ahead and introduce it in this video. It looks cool, and honestly, that is why I included it in this video. Plus, I feel like the expandable phones could give folding phones a run for their money if it's an idea that multiple companies pursue. Since it's leaked, I really don't have any information on it. I have included a link that you can check out, so that way you can see pretty much all the information that I've seen about it. I will say that the way it looks, it appears fragile, and it looks like dust, dirt, and water will be the phone's biggest downfall. So my biggest complaint with folding phones is not the fact that they fold, it's the durability of the hinges and the plastic screens, and then the overall looks, they're just not all that exciting. You know, the Razr looks good. I like the way the Huawei Mate X folds opposite of the Galaxy because of where the camera location is. But overall, I'm still just not impressed, and there's only so much you can do with folding and flipping phones. So I don't know if future phones will look any better or not, but you know, I'm intrigued by the idea. I also feel like if they could build a folding glass screen for them, I think that'll be really awesome, especially since we've already got rolling TVs, we've got folding phones, we've got glass screens and OLED screens. I feel like if you can combine all that together, who knows what we could come up with. Future tech will start having screens wrap around smart speakers like the HomePod, or any other smart speaker out there. The Amazon Alexa devices, they could, instead of flat screens, they could kind of do some sort of curvature on them. I know some TVs and monitors are already starting to do curves. So, if the folding concept in the glass is created, I feel like TVs, monitors, tablets, smart speakers, and everything else, I feel like the frontier could really open up to a lot of other cool things. So even though I'm not too hyped up about the folding idea, I feel like what it could lead to is pretty awesome. I feel like there's a lot of growth there. But in the meantime, I will keep with my non-folding, non-expanding, flat iPhone. However, I am looking forward to the new designs and how this could shape the future landscape between Apple, Google, and Samsung, because those are the three main ones here in the United States. So see where that goes. Let me know what you think down below. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.